the fact that we are not alone in this universe and that we have communicated with aliens, I don't think there's anything that could go beyond that.
There is a physical basis for the formation of these colored clouds and halos, which is occurring, and it gives further evidence and testimony to the fact that there is something in those skies beyond water vapor.
What is happening? Something is going on. Can you feel the way?
My regular job in the Air Force was electronic intelligence to analyze electromagnetic energy from radars. And I went to a continuation school at the National Security Agency in Fort Meade, Maryland, to learn more about that. And the first day I got there, I got a call from a captain who said that he needed to meet with me. So I met him at the place that he told me to meet him, and he took me into his office, and he proceeded to tell me that I would be going through another school while I was there, and it was at night after my regular schooling. And I would be going through a school that would uncover the abilities or allow me to learn the abilities that I had already had since birth. And of course, he unfolded this entire story in front of me about Project Preserve Destiny. In 1960 it started, and that was when the genetic testing phase started. The aliens, and they had communications with aliens in 1947. In 1960, this project started, and they started to abduct human females to test them for compatibility with this particular procedure. And in 1963, they had already chosen their targets, and they started to abduct the ones that were selected for this particular procedure, but the ones who were already pregnant at the time, in 1963. They abducted them. They genetically managed the fetus at the time. And I was one of those. I was the outcome of one of those, and I was born in 1964. The genetic management phase of this program ended in 1968, and here I was in the military, and I just happened to go through the scenario by which I could come into this program. Obviously, there are a lot of other people who are genetically managed that never got into the military and never got into the position of being called to service, so to speak. I was one of those. And he told me that I would be going through this school to be able to uncover the ability that I had. And he said that everybody had the ability, it's just that my genes were managed, so to speak, to be able to bring the ability forward and to be able to do it on a heightened basis.
We'd like to welcome you to Spiral Into It. And we have two gentlemen, Clifford Carnicom and Dave Peterson, who are going to talk to us about a subject that might be disturbing. Some of the findings that these two gentlemen have been coming up with concerning chemtrails is very alarming if what they have been discovering is true.
A typical contrail is formed behind a jet aircraft at anywhere above 30,000 feet. And of course that can fluctuate due to circumstances of humidity, etc. But what we're seeing now, compared to a normal contrail, which tends to follow the jet across the sky and dissipate, what's distinguishing about the chemtrails is a sort of horizon-to-horizon plume that looks somewhat like a contrail, but does not dissipate quickly as a normal contrail does. I also see these things run in parallel lines and crisscross patterns or grid patterns, and sometimes big X's that will cover the entire sky. Also, we're seeing these jets literally turn them on and off, dash the contrails. I don't know what that is all about, but those are just some of the distinguishing features. Again, and another thing that's interesting about these is as you watch them laid out, a normal contrail, as we spoke of, will dissipate. But these, you'll see the line of the chemtrail, and it'll and it looks like whatever the material is inside actually falls out, and sometimes it has a spine effect.
But in an easily documented fashion, since the beginning of last year, there are photographs that have been collected from all over the country. And if I may say so, when you were asking about distinguishing characteristics, if a person now wishes to go a little bit deeper and look at the photographs that are available on a closer range, the most dramatic example, which defies any explanation, are those examples, of which there are about 5 on the website mentioned, where you have a stream of material that is emitted literally from wingtip to wingtip, a continuous stream of material across the entire wingspan of the aircraft. And yet, in the most clear-cut violation, if you look at the engines of that aircraft and where they are located, in the case that I'm referring to right now, those engines are located at the rear of the aircraft along the fuselage. That's a McDonnell Douglas aircraft. The engines are on the rear, attached to the fuselage. The stream of material covers from wingtip to wingtip in a continuous fashion.